Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never fucking expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit. Come here, come here. Is that two niggas kissing? Is one of them niggas perfect?
So after all that time since the raid on his mansion, Diddy is finally heading to jail, and people are freaking out because so many celebs warned about him for years. And now all those old rumors are turning out to be true. And it looks like he might not be the only big name.
Nobody dirty.
Out of everyone who ever had drama with Diddy, the one who never kept quiet was Cat Williams. Like way before any investigation even started, Cat was already spilling all the secrets about what went down behind those doors. He had been keeping tabs for years, and even paid people when he thought they had something big to share.
There are so many witnesses. There are so many victims. Now, if or if not there were to be any type of investigation occurring, no victim should be or can communicate with other victims. And so victims are likely not communicating with victims. But a lot of people that know things or that are building things or whatever do reach out, do tell you everything. Sometimes they'll just write everything. I mean, I receive information whether I want to or not. But I've erred on the side of stepping away from the movie that's being made. And I don't mean that literally, I mean that metaphorically. The movie of Diddy that's being painted right now. And I come back to myself, what I know to be true, what I know I witnessed, what I have receipts of.
You want to show all your skin. You want to be naked. But the whole concept of Danity Kane was like, when it comes together, it's one.
Puff's going hard on the group, and then all of a sudden he singles me out and starts going on and on about how unhappy he is with me. And I just feel like nothing that I do, he's ever happy with.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
I'm done with all of that.
No. Like, what do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you.
What do you want to look like, though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair, though.
I don't
you
like
do
big hair.
like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown at me.
I'm not seeing the flexibility.
Everyone who ever worked with Diddy got some crazy story to tell. Like Aubrey O'Day, who worked with him for 6 years, was one of the first to spill how he treated the women at his shows. He expected them to do whatever he said, and if they didn't, they were out just like that. And the wild part is, if you said no to him, it didn't just end there. He made sure your whole career was done.
Why somebody would want to fire somebody. Can you give us a little? I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
Wow.
I'm a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that question.
Oh, wow. I think he's a good guy.
Back when Aubrey O'Day joined Danity Kane after being on Making the Band, things looked like a dream, but it turned into a total nightmare. She ended up getting fired after a fight with Diddy and later came out saying he was controlling and emotionally abusive. She said he pushed her to do things that had nothing to do with her music, and when she refused, he threw her out, and everyone kind of knows what she really meant by that.
Tell me about the sympathetic days to Diddy. What does that look like when you have a moment of feeling bad for the guy?
It wasn't all bad, but I don't know that any of the good was real.
Former Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day breaking her silence amid Sean Diddy Combs' trafficking and racketeering trial, revealing she is not going to testify.
I was contacted by Homeland Security and I did I did have a meeting with Homeland Security.
At any point did they tell you, we're considering you to testify, we're considering your evidence that you've given us in the trial?
They tell you keep discretion with your meeting with us, obviously, because the trial has taken place.
Some people saw that you were going to be in New York, and they immediately started jumping to conclusions. Are you here to testify in the Diddy trial?
No, I'm not here to testify for the Diddy trial.
Instead, the singer will cover the trial for a podcast produced by Amy Robach and TJ Holmes.
Is he a threat to people if he is out of prison?
I can give you a few examples of why I would lean toward yes on that.
I could be here all night telling you about my experiences. I could write a book one day, and I probably will.
In a statement to ET, Aubrey says, quote, "While I have not currently been asked to testify, this trial is long overdue, as I've been speaking the truth about Diddy for 20 years now." Adding that my sincere hope is that justice will prevail and for there to be further systemic changes within the music industry to prevent all forms of abuse from those in a position.
When the news broke about Diddy getting arrested, Aubrey, O'Day didn't waste time. She went online and dropped a powerful message saying anyone chasing fame needs to stay alert. She said, "The moment someone with power tries to cross your limits or ask for something that feels wrong, you should walk away right away and never look back." She reminded everyone that no dream or fame is worth the pain that comes from staying in a bad situation, and that too many people in power hurt others and still face no real punishment. So you gotta trust your gut and protect yourself first.
The result being around that man, Sean Puffy Combs, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping to this day. Like, yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't sang in a week. I mean, I'm 13 years old, and I'm telling him, look, you gonna put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with you. I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs?
Another star who came up under Diddy's wing was Usher. And let's just say his time with Diddy wasn't all glitz and glam like people thought. Because behind those shiny lights, things were way more messy than anyone imagined.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp!
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Come on.
But hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans, Jodeci, Mary J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And what do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
what
like a living.
Life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
Not long ago, Usher opened up about what it was really like living with Diddy when he was just 13 on the Howard Stern show. He said, Diddy was already showing him stuff, a kid that young should not be seeing, taking him to clubs and letting him see a world that was way too grown for him.
You don't mind me asking, because I know the topic is sensitive, but what happened to Usher?
I heard about some music executive from the industry back in Harlem. I heard it from some music executives back in Harlem. And I'm not going to speak on their name. They doing programs and everything like that, and they may be doing something. They may speak on it themselves. But I heard it from some music executives.
What did you hear?
Bro, you know how people be talking, and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, "Yo, I don't F with that dude." And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas. I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, Nick was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. So I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard it, and that's what happened.
Back in the day, Diddy's own bodyguard jean deal spilled that the whole industry already knew something was off between Diddy and Usher. He claimed there was a time Diddy got so rough that Usher ended up in the hospital. And word is there are medical papers that back it up after that. A lot of stars started steering clear of Usher, like they didn't want any part of that mess.
Friends in a strange way, you know?
Robin Big.
Yeah, it's like... Exactly.
I'm begging you, Rob.
Yeah. No, I mean, to a lot of us, he's like a little brother. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid to call and ask for advice. He's somebody that, in the industry-wise, the record industry is a strong family, and he's somebody that, you know, we definitely have our arms around, and we want to protect him because he's such genuinely a nice person. Besides his talent, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the greatest kids that you could ever know. Justin,
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're out.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
time. He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Apparently not. Something, everything ain't for everybody. So, man, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number, so. Correct. Okay. My number? Yeah. My number.
Yeah. The craziest part about the whole Usher story is that the trouble didn't stop with him because to get away from Diddy's control, Usher ended up bringing in Justin Bieber to take his spot. And Justin started working with Diddy when his career was just beginning, and he was even sent to live with him, which now sounds way more concerning than it did back then.
Met him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like, what kind of asshole do you gotta be to take another boy, another talented boy, and put him in your place so it ain't gotta be you no more? Because that's what pedophiles do. They get victims, and then once they get to a certain age and they get too old for them to enjoy them, they send them out to go get other young kids. Now, if Usher is a procurer, and if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak office, he a good guy. Especially considering what happened to him, especially considering that he sat Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for you.
A bunch of people who used to hang around Diddy have come out and backed this up. One of them was Jaguar Wright, who used to dance for Jay-Z, and she called out Usher, saying he was a total hypocrite for saving himself but not protecting Justin. She said, if Usher hadn't handed him over, Diddy would have never gotten close to Justin in the first place.
I had no celebrity friends, because when I was on TV, on Instagram saying, I don't know where my child is, and the Kardashians kidnapped my daughter in public, and I didn't have the address of my child, none of these that want to say something
Travis
now.
Gave you the address, though, right?
Travis gave me the address. Right. But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard you.
Wait,
hold on. Okay. All you fake hard niggas, you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be a do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my coat card. So y'all shut the fuck up about me. Now let me say it calm. You shut the fuck up about Michael. Right.
Everybody in the rap world already knows the real Diddy, and it's not a good look. Even big names are calling him out, like when Kanye went on Drink Champs and said Diddy acts tough, but it's all fake. And honestly, the truth about him is way darker than anyone ever thought.
Close when he offered to take him shopping.
Yeah, you see, now Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. This is stop it. You set that up. Look, honestly was not offended by what I was offended by. Guys may say to a girl, you know, like, let me take a shot. See? Damn. They found it that quick.
What do you think's happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on. Wow, because it was like, he was like, yo, you hot now. Now we gotta hang out now. Like, you know, like hang out. Yeah. She said, I don't know, maybe I'll take you shopping and I get you some flash and you can give me the. And I was looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm gonna mess up the way. Certain things they let it go by because it's fluff. He wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway.
All these years, you've been the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said that you're a hater. They said you're crazy.
Yeah, and now everybody's complaining.
So the reason Kanye even mentioned Meek Mill is because there's a whole lot of talk about how close Meek and Diddy really are. 50 Cent once spilled that Diddy tried to take him out on a so-called shopping trip, which everyone knows wasn't really about clothes. 50 backed off, but Meek didn't. And not long after that, people started noticing Diddy and Meek showing up to parties together dressed the same, like something else was definitely going on.
Person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he's gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take but he won't shoot.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like with Jeffrey Epstein.
You and Puff haven't liked each other business-wise for a long time. Well, that's why it's only business. It was really, away from that, I explained why I didn't hang out with him. Right? Because it's a little fluffy stuff going on.
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. When I say people respond, how people respond to things matter, like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, yo, I gotta spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this. And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable. You don't hear him talking about French. French was right there. Yeah. Right? Why you get so quiet? You guys make me feel like I'm so scared.
Well, I'm listening.
No, they see this. You see this. They see.
50 Cent said he's teaming up with Netflix for a wild documentary about Diddy that's supposed to drop early 2026. And he explained that the reason it's taking forever is because new stuff keeps coming out every single day. He said it's like this huge mess that keeps spreading with so many parts and people involved that it's hard to even keep up.
Singer Don Richard testifies that Sean Diddy Combs hit Cassie Ventura with a skillet full of egg. Diddy Kane alum Don Richard, who began working with Sean Diddy Combs while competing on his show Making the Band in 2004, took the stand after Cassie wrapped her testimony May 16th. Richard joined Combs' group Diddy Dirty Money after Danity Kane disbanded. While on the stand, she told jurors that she saw Combs hit Ventura with a skillet full of eggs at his Los Angeles home in 2009. Richard testified per NBC News. He came downstairs asking where his phone was, and he threw her to the ground. Richard added, "I was scared for her. I was scared to do anything." Richard's testimony in Combs' ongoing trial comes 8 months after she accused the rapper in a lawsuit of subjecting her to years of inhumane working conditions, which included groping, and false imprisonment. The lawsuit, filed in September, obtained by E! News, stated, Mr. Combs frequently held meetings with Ms. Richard wearing only his underwear, despite Ms. Richard's protests and repeated requests for him to put on clothing. In her filing, the 41-year-old also alleged that Combs ordered her to strip down to her underwear, made demeaning remarks about her body, and entered her dressing room unannounced while she was unclothed, and touched her without her permission under the guise of showing the stylist what to do.
Back when Dawn Richard was working with Diddy and Danity Kane and later in Diddy Dirty Money, she said things were bad behind the scenes. She claimed he was abusive and even made threats. And in 2024, she filed a lawsuit saying he hurt her and that she saw what went down with Cassie, and she was one of the first to publicly stand by Cassie.
Ventura is moving forward. After Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months counts of transportation to engage in prostitution on October 3rd, his ex reacts to U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian's decision in a statement from her lawyers. The attorneys tell E! News, while nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed. They add, we are confident that with the support of her family and friends, Ms. Ventura will continue healing, knowing that her bravery and fortitude have been an inspiration to so many. Ventura was in a relationship with Combs on and off from 2007 to 2018. In addition to his over 4 years in prison, Combs was handed 5 years of supervised release and a fine of $500,000. Ahead of his sentencing, Combs, who was acquitted on and racketeering charges during his federal trial, expressed remorse for, quote, all of the hurt and pain he caused others through his conduct in a letter to the judge. He wrote in the filing, obtained by NBC News October 2nd, I lost my way. I got lost in my journey, lost in the drugs and the excess.
After Diddy got locked up, Cassie finally got a bit of peace. Her lawyer said she can finally feel safe again before his sentencing. Cassie had told the judge she was terrified of what he might do if he was free. But now, for the next few years, she can finally live without that fear. Word on the street is another massive name in the industry is about to get exposed. Someone who's been acting like they can't be touched. And once that name comes out, it's gonna hit even harder than Diddy's downfall. So stay tuned and keep your eyes here, because when the next one drops, we'll have all the tea ready to spill. So if you love hearing all this wild celeb tea and don't want to miss the next bomb drop, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay locked in right here on Taylor Tells All, where we spill it all first, every single time.